Welcome back to Grid Drop. Today we're going to help you get faster around one of Formula One's fan favorite tracks, Mexico. If you enjoy this video, feel free to leave any feedback or questions in the comment section or in my Discord, which is linked in the description. That being said, let's get right into it. This video will be broken down into 5 sections: car setup, Sector 1, Sector 2, Sector 3, and finally a full lap. These sections are all equally important, so stay tuned to the end of the video if you really want to improve. Here's the setup I run in Mexico. Feel free to pause the video and screenshot this if you want to try out the setup on your own. This setup prioritizes front-end grip throughout the entirety of the track without sacrificing too much straight-line speed. As a disclaimer, this setup is a general baseline for you to start with and applies to both hot laps and a race. I recommend doing a few laps with this setup and tweaking it to fit your own style. Sector 1 begins with a super long straight, but the rest of the sector can get a little tricky. At the end of the straight, pay attention to the meter boards on the left. Keep an eye out for the 150 meter board. You want to brake just after this point, around 120 meters. Use the curbing on the left under braking to extend the track and widen your line into the first corner. When turning into the corner, aim to have a tighter exit to the right side, as the next corner is a sharp left. Try to get as close as you can to this orange raised curb on the right, and slowly get back on the throttle for just a second. When exiting and sticking to the right side of the track, a quick change in steering input to the left and a small tap of the brakes should set you up for the next left-hander. When entering this corner, again, aim to be as close as you can to the orange raised curb, but be careful not to drive over it. This one can definitely send you into a spin if you aren't careful. Once through the next corner, slowly start increasing your throttle again, but be very cautious. The next corner doesn't require any braking, so being too quick on the throttle will force you to lift or brake, slowing you down. Also, be conscious of your steering angle when increasing the throttle. It's pretty easy to spin or go off the track here. When exiting, use the exit curb on the left. It's helpful to put your left tires on the green section of the curbing, as it's a little smoother and more stable. Now, increase your throttle and then enable DRS. That's a run through of Sector 1, now let's see it at full speed. When heading into the first corner of Sector 2, keep an eye out for the 100 meter board on the right. It's placed just after the curbing begins. You can use the curb under braking here as well. When approaching the left-hander, again, turn in a little later in order to keep a tighter line to the left on exit. Keep your eyes focused on the left curb here and aim to take the full width of the red and white striped section. At the mid-corner point, you should already be increasing your throttle, but be very wary of spinning here. After this corner, keep your steering angle to the left just a second longer than what feels natural, as the next corner is a very hard right. Once you've swayed to the left side of the track, brake and turn very harshly to the apex of the corner. You want to take a little curb here as this corner is tight, so full use of the track is recommended. Once again, at the midpoint of the corner, you should be back on the throttle. Very cautiously and very slowly increase your throttle here, as this part of the track is quite unstable. On exit, use the left-hand exit curb to the fullest extent that you can, but be careful of going over track limits. It's very easy to get a warning here. Pretty much the second you reach full throttle, brake. For this corner, you want a wider entry on the first apex and a tighter entry to the second one. This sets you up best for the exit. The best way to do this is to hit the apex, but as you do so, increase your steering angle a lot more. This will keep you tighter to the second apex. Once mid-corner, start increasing the throttle and aim to use the exit curb on the left. Into the next corner, you want to brake just before the crypto.com sign. This should be one hard jam of the brakes, one downshift, and back on the throttle immediately. Try to use the inside curb here and extend the track. Additionally, use the next inside curb, but still be cautious about being full throttle as it may cause you to run wide or spin. The next corner should be taken at around 85 or 90% throttle, and you can use the red and white curb on the left. After exiting this curb, sway to the middle of the track and immediately pull back into the left. Once you get close to the left-hand curb, turn in to the next corner. Depending on your lines for the last two S's, you can take this corner flat out. Aim to use the red and white curb on the right-hand side. As soon as you're off this curb, straighten out and immediately pull left again and aim to use that left-hand curb now. This one's pretty flat, so you can dip your wheels completely to the inside. At this point, you should definitely be flat out. Now get ready to activate DRS. So that's a breakdown of Sector 2, let's see it at full speed. Into the next right-hander, you want to brake just after the curb starts on the left. This should be a hard jam of the brakes and about 3 downshifts. Aim to use the exit curve on the left, and the green section is completely safe if you want to dip a wheel or two into there. Back on the throttle now, look towards the right side of the track and pick out where the curb starts. You want to brake right as you hit this point. Stay wide to the right and immediately start turning in. Lock your wheel all the way left. This turn is similar to the Monaco hairpin. Once mid-corner, stay extremely cautious on the throttle. This section of the track is easily the most slippery, so you're most prone to a mistake here. Exiting the left-hander now, aim to take some of the curb on the right, but be careful not to extend past it. Again, be very diligent on the throttle here, it's really easy to spin. Once passing the right-hander and heading under the stadium, brake as you turn into the next corner. This one is pretty simple, just have an outside, inside, outside line, and use a bit of the curb. Now it's a long, sweeping right, so it's important to be steady on the throttle when you're increasing pressure, as a spike in input will send you into a spin. Once you're full throttle, stick to the left side of the track. That's a look at Sector 3, now let's see it at full speed. Now let's take a look at a full lap. So there you have it, a full lap of Mexico broken down corner by corner and sector by sector. If you have any questions or need more tips, feel free to leave a comment on this video or in my Discord. Also, let me know if you want to see more track guides, and if so, which ones would you want to see. So if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.